Okay, so today we are doing half-angle formulas. These formulas, just like Friday's formulas, I'll be giving you on the test. You just need to know how to use them. It's mostly plugging in, and I feel like the biggest issue here is just remembering when to have positive and negative signs. For sine and cosine, the plus and minus, it depends on my half angle, so which quadrant it really lies in. So the star note right here. For example, in number 1, I'm going to be finding the value of sine of 105. Sine is positive in the second quadrant. And so then I would use a positive when plugging into the formula. So, this 105, since it's telling me to use the half angle formula, is my half angle. I didn't do anything, I just pointed out that this is the half angle. Okay, so then double that angle for when I plug into the formula, because this is not a half angle here, is what? What is double of 105? Okay, so this is going to be the left side of the equation. So I have sine of 105, and then I'm plugging into this formula. Like I said earlier, 105 is in which quadrant? 2. Is sine positive or negative in quadrant 2? Positive. So then I'm going to have a positive outside my radical. Then I'm going to have 1 minus cosine 210. This is coming from me doubling that angle. And then over 2. No, so like that is the half angle. So like I've replaced it with 105, so double that is A. So I've doubled it over here. Okay. Then I want to evaluate cosine of 210. Remember, this is back from the beginning of the semester when we were doing reference angles. So what quadrant is 210 really in? Third. So remember, this whole angle is 210 degrees. What is my reference angle there? So reference angles are the distance from the x-axis. So, yeah, 30. So, the rules are, I'll write these in green. First quadrant is the angle. Second quadrant is pi minus the angle. Third quadrant is angle minus pi. And fourth quadrant is 2 pi minus the angle. Or, if I'm doing degrees, this is 90, nope, not 90, 180 minus the angle minus 180, and 360 minus the angle. And this is for reference angles. Okay. So what I'm really doing is I'm evaluating cosine of 30. Is cosine positive or negative in the third quadrant? negative. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put negative cosine 30. And this is because I'm using reference angles. So the 30 came from the reference angle. The negative came from it being in the third quadrant and cosine. If it's above 90, yes. And then it's negative because cosine is negative in third quadrant. Okay. So then I have double negatives, which makes that positive. And then what is cosine of 30 degrees? Square root of 3 over 2. Question. Okay. What do you want me to do next? Because I don't like having fractions and fractions. Any ideas? So I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm going to multiply it by 2 over 2. So I can have one fraction on my numerator. It's going to give me 2 over 2 plus square root of 3 over 2, all over 2. Okay, then I can make that one giant fraction on the top. Since I have a fraction over a fraction in a fraction, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of my denominator. It's over a secret 1. So really I'm doing 2 plus the square root of 3 over 2 times 1/2. Okay. Then that's going to give me 2 plus the square root of 3 on the numerator over 4. Ideas on what to do next? How do I simplify? So I can split this into 2 radicals. The numerator and the denominator get their own. So I can't do anything with the radical in the radical. That's just going to stay. But the square root of 4 gives me 2. And this is my final answer. Okay. So for number 3, it wants me to find all of the solutions for this equation. I probably will need to factor just because of the squared on the cosine. And then also, I have this with the half angle. I want to get rid of that half angle. So my left side is going to stay the same. That 2 is going to stay out front on the right side. I have a half angle for cosine, so I'm plugging in the half angle formula for cosine. Because it's a variable and not a specific angle, I'm going to leave the plus and minus. And then it's going to be squared because of this squared with the cosine. Okay. So then when I go ahead and square the stuff inside the parentheses, when I square a positive, it becomes positive. When I square a negative, it also becomes positive. So I'm going to lose my signs, because by default, everything is assumed positive unless the sign is written out front. And then when I square a radical, the radical goes away. So I'm just left with everything that was inside the radical. Okay. Then what do you guys want me to do next? Well, how do I solve? Okay, so when I distribute the two, what happens? So actually I have a 2 that I'm multiplying by and a 2 that I'm dividing by. They cancel out. Okay. Then what do you want me to do? Okay. Which gives me cosine squared equals cosine. No, I want to subtract the cosine over. I don't want to divide it out. What? Huh? Yeah, because I want to move it all to the same side of the equation. Because I'm going to go and try to factor. Okay, then I can factor. How do I factor this? Okay, so I can pull out a cosine x. Then, what do I want to do? Okay. Where is cosine equal to 0? Remember, it's this one. You'll need to remember this for Friday. Pi halves, anywhere else it equals 0? 270, what is that in radians? Okay. Do I need the plus 2 pi n? Why not? Because it gives me an interval, so I don't have to do that. Then I just need to solve this other equation. Where does cosine equal 1? Anyone? 0. So that's my answer here. Get Friday's notes out. So this one wants me to verify this identity, and notice I have double angles here. Yeah, you notice. So I want the double angle formulas for Friday, these ones. Because the more complicated side for this problem is the right side with the double angles, because of the fraction. So I'm going to replace them. The left side is going to stay alone. Cosine 2 theta, I'm going to replace with cosine squared minus sine squared. And I put this in parentheses because there was that negative out front. Okay, and then on the denominator, there was also a double angle. It was sine of 2 theta. Sine of 2 theta gets replaced with 2 sine theta cosine theta. Sorry. It should be unlocked. Okay, then what do you want me to do? Yeah, distribute that negative. Oh wait, I did not distribute that negative. The sign should turn positive. Okay, so what do you think I can do next? I can... Let me get my identities. No. I want to use an identity here. Yeah, it's verifying identities. That's when you use identities the most. So this is from the review. Yeah, I can. So I can use the Pythagorean identity. Okay, then what? Okay, I can get rid of the 2's. Anything else I can get rid of at the same time? Yeah. So then what am I left with on my numerator? Yep. Sine on top, cosine on bottom. And then remember, this ratio is tangent. Oh, one thing I forgot to say is when I was grading the quiz, a lot of people lost half points on this question for not writing both sides of the equation every step of the way. So you need to make sure on the test, when you have the verify question, you write both sides of the equation every step of the way.